Rap Radio. Raw and uncut.
Cubo and welcome to Chicano Rap Radio. I'm your homie Snipes holding it down, and today we have El Cacho in the house. So without further ado, let's welcome the homeboy to the show. What's up, El Cacho? How you doing?
¿Qué tranza, carnal? Snipes, aquí andamos desde Denver, Colorado, la mía alta. You already know, el Cacho.
That's right. Muchas gracias. Thanks a lot for joining us. I wanted to introduce the rest of the world. The people, I mean, you have a lot of fans, but the people that who already don't know about you, I want to give them a little bit more background information in regards to who you are. So tell me a little bit more about yourself, who you are, where you're from, and how you got into the music.
All right, carnal. Pues soy el Cacho de Paisa Movement. I started doing music when I was about 8 years old. I'm 29 now, so ya tenemos un rato, Siempre me ha gustado the music. I used to pump Control Machete, Cypress Hill, to name a few that were really, pues, mi inspiración, right? And my grandpa era un músico. He used to play on a trio, with his guitar, and cantaba pura música romántica. So I don't know, that kind of motivated me. I was like, shit, well, if my grandpa can do it, I can do it. Right. But obviously, we were brought up different, Él venía de un rancho, and then, he landed in Ciudad Juárez, Chihuahua, and I couldn't be, too lovey-dovey. So when I started middle school around there, I had an ESL teacher because English, pues es mi segundo lenguaje, Right. And she was like, hey, we're going to do what's it called? A talent show, the poetry, y la chingada. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So her name was Miss Singe. I couldn't even pronounce it back then because no sabía mucho inglés. And I started writing some lyrics. And at the end of the show, I won. And I also got suspended because my lyrics.
Oh, your lyrics.
Yeah,
How old were you? How old were you?
I was tenía, I believe, 11. Tenía 11.
Okay.
I was.
And was that in Chihuahua? You were still
that was actually here in Denver.
Oh,
this was in Denver, and that's where it, because I already came with that mentality que quería hacer algo de música, right. But the instruments no se me dio mucho because I'm really impatient, and I couldn't, the guitar with grandpa is like, póngase trucha, cabrón, si no, no lo voy a enseñar. And I was like, I'm good with that shit, I'll just pass,
Yeah.
So, ya tengo varios años, carnal, haciéndolo. And, pues, honestly, my first little mixtape with all kinds of Dr. Dre beats, lo hice when I was 10. So by 11,
10. Wow.
Yeah, by 11, I was already, trying to always win the talent shows, but I got suspended because I was basically talking about lo que vivíamos allá en Juárez, my family, right. Hablamos por teléfono cuando íbamos de vacaciones. I mean, people getting shot up and shit in Juárez, pues it's cartel war right there,
It's active, real active.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you started doing, music at a really young age. You said your grandpa inspired you to do music, and you tried it out with some talent shows, and you started putting out a mixtape. And at what point do you feel like you went from being kind of like amateur to the next level of professional?
So yeah, I did some time, and when I was in there, I just started, it was like a stress reliever, writing down. A lot of shit was happening with my family at that time. So like I was really stressed out in there, what I'm saying? I couldn't be with my family. So I just started writing, writing. I believe I wrote like about 300 songs, and I never used them.
Wow.
I still ask myself why I haven't used them, but I don't know. I just didn't use them. I feel like that was my past, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And well, I bought the 45 of a kid that his dad was a chota and a policía, because a lot of people think chota has different meanings.
Right.
So, I was
How old were you?
I was 13. I was 13.
Wow. So 13 years old, you bought a 45 from someone whose dad was a cop. I imagine the dad found out eventually. And then they came knocking on your door, and you did some jail time.
They didn't find out that quick because they it was one of his like collection. It was one of his
Oh, okay.
yeah, era su fierro de colección. So he didn't you take it to work. But let me rewind it real quick. The the reason that I got it is because you know, I was getting picked on because I was always a little taller than a lot of kids, you know. Y estaba más macizo. I mean, I've never been a skinny, you know, little kid and shit or dude, whatever. Um, so I was just getting tired, you know what I'm saying? Y pues ya, you know, the gangs were starting to get involved.
Right.
You know, my gang, mi barrio, como quieran llamarle, you know, comes from Juárez, you know, Barrio Bajo 21. And here, the politics were really different, you know what I'm saying? Because over there, you know, we didn't really care about colors or nothing like that. Era más como un carnalismo,
Right.
no? Era un carnalismo, era like families that have been in the hood for years. And pues ya cuando me vine y iba para vacaciones, you know, summer break, all that, I started, you know, banging. And I came over here and there was all kinds of colors, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I couldn't wear this color or this color because they were not going to like me. So así empezó, you know, I hooked up my little brother with a bicicleta and fueron hasta mi casa y se la robaron. So that's how really that started, you know. To make it short, al último, pues me los topé estos vatos, you know, they were older, you know, I was 13, they were about 21, 23, something like that.
And you got the gun involved?
Yeah, and so nos dimos siempre me han gustado los chingazos, you know, and me calé and I, pues, you know, I fucked them up and they jumped me because it was one by one, right? Nos estábamos dejando caer chingón. And some fool came from the back and stabbed me twice with an ice pick in the chest.
Damn.
And I was like, what the fuck? So así cuando pasó eso, I thought he just punched me because me sacó el aire, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, I was, you know, estaba más flaquillo back then, you know, estaba más skinny.
Did he puncture your lungs?
And, he was like half of an inch close.
Wow.
Del pulmón. And pues, you know, I wasn't even bleeding or nothing. Yo me tocaba. And then my homeboy was like, güey, córrele. Sacaron un fierro. And I thought he meant a gun, pero no, era como una navaja or something. And I was running. And I shit you not, pinche picayelos iba corriendo así.
Oh,
I was
wow.
right. And then I just started getting dizzy. And then my homeboy le habló a mi jefa, like, señora, you know, acaban de picar al Pedro, you know, acaban de picar a Cacho. He's like, no esté chingando. Don't be fucking playing with me. Boom, hangs up on him. And I was already on the floor. Pues me desmayé, you know, because that impact, I don't know. Estaba morro, you know, I was 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? These fools were adults now. And yeah, pues, you know, I got the bike back, pero pues me mandaron al hospital estos vatos. So así pasó. And, you know, pues, you know, I was holding a grudge. Pues dejé que pasara unos cuantos meses. And then, you know, we hit them up. We went to their hood and shit. And we were getting hit one by one, but they started blasting at us first. So that's when the homeboy is like, hey, you know, aquí traigo tu cohete, you know, handle it. And pues I just started blasting them, you know what I'm saying? And so yeah, when I did the shooting, los policías encontraron, pues, you know, tres cases de las 10 que había disparado. Y ya cuando, pues, you know, next day they went, you know, to my house and I was already in court. They were talking about 65 to life. I mean, I'm a 14-year-old kid, you know, si era desmadroso y todo, but I you know, I was todavía no hacía un big ass crime, you know what I'm saying? I was just, you know, pues, yeah, just andaba ahí de vaguillo, you know?
They were trying to break you off, for sure.
Yeah, they were trying to make querían hacer un ejemplo because, pues acá, you know, pues para que un minor estuviera disparando una pistola, they're like, fuck, that kid is crazy, you know?
Well, plus it didn't help that it was a gun that used to belong to a police officer, you know?
Exactly.
They took that shit personal.
And it didn't help that I was era raza, you know?
Right. Never.
You know
that never helps.
Yeah. So así pasó, carnal. And we fought the case for about a year and a half. And
how much time did you end up getting at the end?
Agarré 3.5. Me dieron 6 años, but half locked up and the other half parole
like
and
supervision. Okay.
Yeah, because they charged me as an adult. So that you know, I basically fucked up my record.
So I imagine that time that you were locked up, you know, like it gave you a lot of time to think, you know, you maybe wrote a lot of songs or you started to look at what you were going to do differently. At what point when you got out did you really decide to focus on the music?
Pues sí, siempre lo tenía en la mente, siempre. I always had in my mind. Lo que pasó es de que ya me motivé más, recapacité. I was like, fuck, next time I'll probably do more time. And the third time, probably I won't even get out. So ya
Right.
cuando salí, I was a little bummed out because, the group that I used to belong with, se llamaba Brown Pride Clica. We started in Juárez. And ya se había deshecho, when I got
Right.
locked up, they're like, nah, fool, we don't even record no more, homie. Like, we're not about that shit no more. So I
Right.
was bummed out, pero conocí a un compa because I had to do community service at the Boys and Girls Club, que se llamaba Nacho Average Mexican. Así se llamaba el güey. Props to him, shout out, siempre me ayudó. Y pues ya, él tenía un estudio ahí. Obviously, I was a trouble kid. So that really helped me. I did 2 songs, I believe, in the Boys and Girls Club. And then we moved on to a studio that he had in his basement. And when that happened, we dropped a little EP.
Right.
And just the whole support aquí in Denver and in Juarez and Mexico started growing, in Cali too. And I was like, fuck. I was like, I
I'm
love
on
this
to
shit.
something.
Yeah,
That's right.
I love
That's right.
this. I love this. Y así es como empezó ya el camino, carnal. Like
That's
being
right.
focused, being more
That's right.
disciplined. And not be bullshitting. Así es
Yeah.
como empezó el Cacho, el compa Cacho.
Well, I think it's a good journey. It shows the struggles, it shows the challenges, and it really shows también, like the drive que tú tenías for the music. Throughout all these years, throughout all the drama, you continue to pursue this dream that you had that started when you were young. That was inspired by your grandpa. Playing his music and everything. And I look forward to telling the rest of your story. But first, let's take a quick little break. You're listening to Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Hit us up at 805-395-6595 for your special requests, dedications, and shoutouts. Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Welcome back to Chicano Rap Radio. We're chopping it up with El Cacho, representing out of Denver, Colorado. We've been talking about his story, his journey from being a young boy, being inspired by his grandfather to get into the music, the struggles of growing up in Denver, getting caught up, in the streets, getting caught up, catching a charge, going away, doing some time, getting back out, and then continuing to pursue his music. Eventually, he was able to put out, a professional EP, and it really started to create a buzz for him here in the States and also in Mexico and Ciudad Juarez, his native Ciudad Juarez. So tell me what happened after you start to create that little buzz. I know you've worked with some big name artists. Tell me a little bit more about, what happened from that point on till now.
Yeah, carnal. Well, what happened with that EP, a lot of people started getting interested because I consider myself rap en español or rap mexicano, because all my lyrics are in Spanish, even if I speak English,
Right.
So cuando solté ese EP, se llamaba, I was working with Nacho Average Mexican. He's the one that helped me, kind of guide me to the whole studio thing and, doing it more professionally. So sacamos uno que se llamaba Conquistando las Calles, and we featured a lot of artists from Ciudad Juarez. Hard fucking artists, man. Like, it's crazy how a lot of this talent doesn't get known, but anyways, pues con eso lo sacamos, and we were here in Denver, and by that time Acquid, I'm talking about like 10 years 10 years ago, Acquid was Acquid from Los Angeles, Francisco and Paco Checo. They were doing tours and shit, but they were not landing in the Midwest, because this is like considered a little bit of the Midwest. They were doing like West Coast or East Coast, because they just wanted that guaranteed support, So, we reached out to them. We're like, hey, we're out here in Denver. ¿Qué onda? No habrá quebrada de que podamos brincar en su tour. You don't have to pay us. I was like, fuck, I don't want to get paid. I just want to go perform. Y así es como empezó, carnal. And that was like a big step, because I've never performed before, only on the talent show. But, it was, half of the school, and that was actually a pretty big crowd. Y pues sí, así llegó, and then boom, we went to Indianapolis, Indiana. Never in my life have I been out there, and we rented a car. The homeboy was struggling because his mom didn't want to rent him the car and shit, you know what I mean? We're like, fuck. I was
you
like,
have to be a certain age.
Yeah, you had to be a certain age. Y pues yo cuando salí, I was barely going to turn 18. I didn't have no license, no nothing. So I got out. I met this fool at the Boys and Girls Club, and the homeboy had a studio. Y pues yeah, I was like, hey, fool, I'm not taking no bus, homie. I was like, fuck no, we gotta make stops and shit. Y ya, pues nos fuimos en la van de su jefita. I'm really grateful with that, because she was like, you believe in this kid? And he's like, mama, this kid has talent. I was like, gracias, but I mean, my mom wouldn't let me borrow the fucking car. That's for sure. I just got out, you know what I mean?
That's right.
So nos fuimos a Indianapolis. We were supposed to only do one show because Aquid didn't know us, and they didn't know who the fuck we were. Pero llegamos, y pues the label that Nacho Average Mexican had, Nacho, was Spanish Audio Pistas. Like, that's how the whole vision started, because I was like, damn, este güey, ¿por qué le puso Spanish Audio Pistas? He's like, oh, because every TV has a SAP button, para que se translate in español y la chingada, or any language, I believe. I was like, that shit's hella weird, fool. And I was like, I got this idea where I just want to be rapping in Spanish. Because in that time, 10 years ago, Chicano rap was crazy. Yeah. It was just like, fuck, in cada esquina, there was a Chicano rapper. I was like, let me try to do something different. So I started with the Spanish, con poquitas cumbias, and that's what we performed out there. It was actually Quinto Sol, Crook Estilo, and Aquid, and a homeboy named Güero Loco. He's from Indianapolis again, shout out to him too. Y ya, pues, nomás un show, y nomás nos iban a dejar cantar una canción. So we drove almost 27 hours from Denver to fucking Indianapolis, passing.
For one show, one song.
Yeah, one song, and the fucking song was barely 2 minutes. Wow. ¿Sí me entiendes? Y pues,
how did that do for you? How did that do?
That was a dream come true, because I grew up listening to these cats, lo que es el rap mexicano, pero estadounidense, because there's the rap mexicano from Mexico and the rap mexicano estadounidense. There's a big difference. And that shit was crazy, man. That shit was crazy.
So that was kind of like the beginning of you even, leveling up, from
even performing.
Amateur to professional to performing. And, one thing that I wanted to mention is that, you started off doing talent shows. It seems to me like kind of, the talent shows it has worked out for you, because you were also on Tienes Talento, Mucho Talento, right?
Yeah. I was just Tengo Talento, Mucho Talento the past season. It was a dope experience, man. A lot of people criticized me. They're like, what the fuck is this gangster ass fool doing there? And I was like, hey, fool, I'll follow my dream, homeboy. That's how. If I don't do it, who's gonna do it for me? So
and so did that lead to any other opportunities with other artists? I mean, who are some of the other artists that you've worked with?
That led to a couple good opportunities. But before that, the TV show and all that appearance, I had the chance of working with King Lil G when he was barely blowing up.
You caught him early.
Yeah, with King Lil G, and shout out to him. And
that was Vida Loca, right?
Yeah, that was Vida Loca. That's actually one of the top songs that I got on our platforms. You can say it's almost on like 10 million views, including Spotify and all that. So yeah, it was that. I did a track with Aquid, and but one of the first features I did was with Juan Gotti from Dope House Records.
Yeah, shout out to Juan Gotti. We've had him on the show, and he gets down. Yeah,
the homeboy, la neta, fuck, I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. And shit, we connected, and the homeboy, worked out something with me, and we made it happen. So after that, cuando fui a Tengo Talento, I got the chance to work with Neto Reino, a really big artist from Monterrey, Mexico. He's buzzing a lot right now, and humble as fuck, So I brought him for a 420 show in Denver, because I'm the only 420 show that we do in Colorado, like rap, Latino, because everybody else does different shit,
Right.
So yeah, so es lo que me ayudó, the buzz, and I started getting a lot of bookings, but then fucking COVID hit, so that kind of stopped. But that helped me finish my project called Puro Veneno. Obviously, it was inspired because of the COVID, because I got that shit twice, and that shit ain't no joke, for the motherfuckers talking about they don't believe in that. I was like, hey, fool, I got that shit twice, you know?
It's real.
It's real, way. It's real. Y
So
pues sí, carnal.
tell me a little bit more about your most recent single that you released not too long ago, De Perfil Tumbado. Tell me, what's that concept about?
Uy, el concepto de eso es like, I try to mix banda with corrido and with trap, you know, because obviously trap has been buzzing for a while now. And we mixed it in, but we did it our style. ¿Sabes cómo? Like, no hicimos un corrido tumbado de amor ni nada de eso. It's like our style, our lifestyle, nuestra moda. Because what we live out here is a little bit different than what people live somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Y pues ya le pusimos de perfil tumbado because pues siempre hemos andado tumbados, you know, the way we dress. And I just got inspired, man, and we made it happen. Connected with the homeboy Jay Huesos from Tamaulipas. Kills it in the hooks, man.
Yeah.
Kills it in the hook.
No, it's a sick song. You guys definitely got down. You know, anybody out there listening or watching this right now, you know, make sure you check it out. El Cacho, and you know, you might say El Cacho, but you know, he's from Chihuahua, and you know, out there it's
From
pronounced El
Chihuahua.
Cacho. Yeah, that's right, Chihuahua. El
Cacho.
Cacho. And
It's the
that's called.
accent.
It's the accent. Yeah. It's called De Perfil Tumbado featuring Jay Huesos. Make sure you check it out. It's on YouTube. It's on his channel. It's a sick song. I think you're going to like it. And you'll also be introduced to some of his other music. Now, you also mentioned the way we dress. Tell me a little bit more about your shirt. Your shirt says Paisa. Why does it say Paisa?
Well, it's you know, my own label that I started 10 years ago, going on 11 years. I just felt like the word paisa, you know, has a powerful and strong meaning because a lot of people take it as como si a disrespectful, like I ain't no paisa, homie, or you know. But you know, I work construction a lot coming up, and even the wedders were like, hey, what's up, paisa? ¿Qué huele, paisa? And you know, it's like a sign of respect. But some people twist that shit and they're like, oh, I ain't no paisa, I'm a homie, or I'm this, or you know what I mean? Por eso I'm like, por eso lo puse paisa, so it can para que cree like a fucking polémica.
Right.
And it did. It got people's attention. You know what I'm saying?
And also, you know, the word paisa, I mean, it comes from paisano, you know, and paisano is a connection back to your roots, you know, being from Mexico, being from, you know, Ciudad Juarez, you know, and that's really what they mean, you know, when they say, what's up, paisa? It's like, hey, we come from the same place, you know, but you're right.
Paisano. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's right. And if people wanted to support you, you know, with your clothing line, I mean, is there a place where they can go and purchase some of these hats or some of these shirts?
Yeah. I got paisamovement.com. They you know, it sells pretty fast, you know, so I always try to keep on printing and hats. Paisamovement.com, or you can just visit my profile, Cacho, on Instagram or on Facebook, wherever, you know, you can get a hold of me. I try my best to keep in touch with, you know, with the fans and respond messages fast, you know, so no se me agüiten if sometimes I don't see the messages, pero
he's busy,
you know,
grinding. He's busy grinding. Give him a little bit of time. He'll get back to you. All right. I want to get a little bit more into your future products, but let's take another quick little break and we'll be right back. You're listening to Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Welcome back to Chicano Rap Radio. We've been chopping it up with El Cacho, representing out of Ciudad Juarez and Denver, Colorado. We've been talking about how he got into the music. We've been talking about, you know, the struggles along the way, you know, elevating his game, working with some, you know, really well-known artists that helped to kind of level up even more. He worked with King Lil G. He worked with Juan Gotti. He worked with Aquid. He's worked with a lot of Jay Huesos most recently with his most recent single called De Perfil Tumbado. I wanted to get a little bit more into your future projects because I know you stay moving, you know, and I want the fans to know what they can look out for. So tell me some of your upcoming projects that you have lined up.
Yeah, so this Sunday we got a video shoot for Cuernos Tangas. That's actually the song to the new EP that we're going to be dropping el 5 de Mayo. Because, you know, us raza out here in the United States, that's when we celebrate 5 de Mayo. I don't know. It's just been like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the title, Cuernos Tangas, nomás salió. I was laying down and I was like, le voy a poner un título mamón, you know? fuck it, Cuernos and Tangas is
Yeah.
doble sentido, because
Right.
Cuernos is basically pues un AK-47 or whatever. Y también pues los pinches cuernos, when somebody gets played or cheated on,
Yeah.
whatever.
When they're cheating, te
So,
ponen los cuernos.
los cuernos, yeah. So it's a little, EP, 6 rolas. It's dropping 5 de Mayo, and it's already on the way. I got
Okay.
Chino El Ton on that. I got Ciel and Máquina de Fuego, pretty big artist from Ciudad Juárez, and Chema. He's a new upcoming artist from Ciudad Juárez as well.
So I know that you work a lot with, artists from, Ciudad Juárez. Do you ever work with any other artists, in other parts of Mexico, or you just try to stay to your hometown?
No. Like Jay West he's from
No.
Tamaulipas,
Right,
and I just
right.
work with him. I've worked with Simple from Guadalajara. I've worked with Yoner One. He's a clothing company in Ciudad de Mexico. It's actually pretty big clothing company, like streetwear and all that. And recently I just did what's his name, Neto Reino from Monterrey. And I also, the most recent collab that I did was Mr. Shadow from San Diego. So yeah, it's, donde conectemos and the vibe is dope, y pues hay respeto, se arma la colaboración.
That song that you said that you recently did a song with Mr. Shadow, and what is that already out, or when does that come?
It's been out for about like 9 months, I believe. Yeah,
Okay.
it's been out for 9 months because he came for a 420 show. Y pues we had time and we did the video. It's called De Concreto. So
Oh, that's right. I have heard that.
yeah,
Okay.
De Concreto.
Yeah,
It's
you
a pretty
guys
dope
got
song.
down. You guys got down for sure. Where do you get, is your production in-house, or do you have producers that you work with, from other parts?
You know what? All my beat makers are from Mexico.
That's right.
Todos son Mexico. Shout out to Flex Beats, Double H Beats. They've been doing my beats for a couple years now. But the mix and mastering engineering, it's here in Denver. I got it in-house.
Okay.
With DJ Kush and the homeboy Rocky. So yeah, I try to have at least 2 beat makers, 2 engineers, 10 video guys, so when everything changes, we can still keep working. But yeah, carnal, that's how we've been doing it.
All right. So you have upcoming music video for your EP that's going to release May 5th.
Yeah.
And, after that, I imagine, you probably have some other projects. I mean, is there anything else going on in regards to the clothing? Do you have any plans for that, or?
Yeah. So my bad. We're actually dropping some new clothing, because, Paisa's always been the logo, you know what I'm saying? We got the 3D embroidered snapbacks, and we're trying to do a Paisa, but for the ladies, for the sexy ladies, for the ladies that want to rock it too.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing that, and I'm also doing setting up a tour in the US and Mexico, so we can actually unite artists, so we can try to get our numbers bigger and just be international, not just out here or going to Cali or the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of projects coming, man. A lot of projects.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I know that you invest not only a lot in your music. I mean, ever since you've come a long way from running the streets, getting caught up, doing jail time, and then coming back out and having to continue your grind. And along the way, as I mentioned, you leveled up, but you continue to invest in your music. You continue to invest in your career. Your music videos are on point. I can tell you put a lot of thought into them, and you have a good team that's there to help you out with the editing, with the production. So, with the visuals, so I know that you're going to continue to invest not only in your music, videos, in your clothing, but, overall continue to grow the brand. Now, where do you see your music in about 3 to 5 years? I mean, what's the main goal? What's the bigger picture?
The main goal, is, I believe, like a lot of artists, get a Latin Grammy, start living a little better, looking out for your family a little bit more because of the music. So
Right.
That's where I see myself pretty well known in a couple years. and being part of the industry, not just as an artist but also as a production company, promotion company. That's and we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah. Well, of course, with that vision and that mentality, you can manifest it for sure. Now, coming from Denver, I know you're big into your roots. Not only, Ciudad Juarez, you keep going back to tap into the talent there, but also where you're from, which is Denver, Colorado. Yeah, are there any artists from Denver, Colorado that you're working with or that you're trying to develop and kind of help them grow now that you kind of got the plug, with the industry?
Yeah, a matter of fact, I've had a couple artists with me, but we had to drop them because they were not hungry. I'm hungry like the first day that I recorded my first track. And
Right.
when I don't see that, I just like it's just not meant to be. But there's a
That's good.
couple artists out here making some noise, like my cousin Nasi. He changed his name to Nasik because of the Nazi word. You know what I'm saying? But that's his fucking nickname.
Right.
He's been working pretty hard. Who else? There's a homeboy called Mr. Freestyles out here. Mr. Freestyles. He's more into the Chicano. You know what I'm saying? But I've always told him, he gets down. Who else?
Now, are these people that are just from Denver, or are these people that you've worked with?
No, they're from Denver. These are
Okay.
from Denver. Um, there's I'm spacing out all the
Yeah.
names right now, but
Or
there's a
are there
lot of
any
good
plans?
artists out here.
Are there any plans for you to take, even if it's not from Denver, any plans for you to take any artists under your wing and kind of develop them under your label, whether it's Ciudad Juarez, Denver, or anywhere else in the world?
I'm working on that right now. I actually got a couple artists in mind, some from California and some from Mexico.
Okay.
I'm just trying to be ready so I can actually offer them what they deserve. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because a lot of people be signing artists like hella fucking stupid and they don't do nothing for them. They're just
Right.
wasting poor artists' time.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to come up with a good plan, but we're actually have a meeting next week, hopefully with our A&R, so we can make it happen already.
That's right. That's right. Well, sounds like you have a lot of things, kind of cooking. You have a lot of big plans for you as a brand, El Cacho, and also your record label, your clothing company. I like that you have a vision in 3 and 5 years because you have to focus on the bigger picture. If you always set your goals high, then you're always pursuing something. If you set your goals low, you stop growing.
You
Because
know,
you reach it and then you're like, okay, now what?
now
So
what?
exactly. So I admire that about you, and I look forward, and we look forward here at Chicano Rap Radio. We look forward to the journey, to seeing it, and we'll definitely have you back in the future. Are there any last words that you want to say to your fans before we end this?
No, I just want to give a shout out to the compa Snipes, for reaching out, and Chicano Rap Radio, Ryan Uncut. You already know. I
That's
like
right.
how you do that shit.
That's
But
right.
yeah, no más saludos a la raza. We out here. There's fucking Mexican rappers in Denver. You know what I'm saying? In the
Yeah.
Midwest. Connecting everywhere. Saludos a toda la raza, and the raza that don't know me. Take some time, check me out. Give me a like, give me a dislike, but
Yeah.
me
But
out
check
for
it
sure.
out.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here. Go check out his music. You can find him on all digital platforms. You can go check out his YouTube channel. You can check him out on Instagram, as he mentioned. Check him out. Give him a like. Give him a dislike. Give him a follow or whatever. But check
Or
him out.
unfollow.
Don't no unfollow, only the follow. And stay posted because he has really good music, and he's going to continue to put out music. And as I mentioned, we're going to continue to support him. We'll have him back in the future to give you guys an update on what's been going on in the career of El Cacho. We appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. You're listening to Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.
Chicano Rap Radio, raw and uncut.